Life has never been easy for me throughout my life, bro. I'm not going to restrict it to post undergraduate, post national service. Life has never been easy for me. I grew up with a single parent, just my mom and my big sister, and we
Mhm.
have to, juggle a couple of things to be able to survive. My mom runs a beer bar. My sister owns more like a supermarket, sort of. And then there is me, the man of the house, and I needed to manage these ladies and manage myself as an individual as well. So life has generally not been easy for me. I remember even when I was in school as SRC president, on Fridays, before even proud to become SRC president, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, weekends, I was at my mom's bar, working behind the counter, serving the locals in my community. After school, when I was doing national service, whilst I was doing my masters, I was still doing that job. I would close from work AAG Monday, Friday. I'll go to the bar. I'll have classes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll go to the bar at night, be there with them. And so life generally hasn't been easy. Now, after national service, I was retained. So I was still with the AAG. I'll go to work, go back to the bar. And then I
Mm.
was managing a hostel around, UPSA. And I
Okay.
was still living around campus. So I would
Okay.
close from work, pass by my mom's bar in Tishi. Then I would drive all the way back to East Legon, UPSA area, the hostel, spend the night, wake up, go back to the office. So
Mm.
bro, it hasn't been easy. It's still not easy, because we need to survive, right? So
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Convos from Abroad. My name is PK Kwe, and on this episode, I'm glad to be joined in by Terrick Nii Obodai, who is a very good friend of mine, and he used to be my SRC president way back at the
mm,
university. Right after school, he furthered the education in communications and branding, and then later we heard that he has traveled to the US to also pursue his education as well. So we brought him here to hear from him how life has been so far since he traveled to the US, and then we take it from there. You're welcome.
thank you, Patrick. I know you've been bugging me, bro, to be on, your channel, and I'm super excited to be on your channel today. Just a few things though. Yes, we all did undergraduate together. We completed in 2019. Then during the national service period, that was when I had my first master's. Then, stayed, I was retained during service for 2 years, changed roles a little bit, move around companies. And then, I think my final place I worked with was Front Back Accra before leaving. Yeah, so I just left last year and I've been here for just a year. Yeah.
Wow, wow, good to see you. And you're looking good as well.
Oh, bro, I always look good. Thank you. I'm not going to be humble.
I see, I see. I was glad to see you when you did the dark dreads. It was really good on you. Why
uh,
how did you switch now?
you know what they say about African parents, right? So I remember when I did the dreadlocks, I knew my mom was definitely going to be against it, but I needed it for my graduation because I needed like a new look for, after school. I'm in the US. I'm excited, I'm open to like so many opportunities. And I did dreadlocks. Unfortunately, she called me, I think, 2 days after the dreadlocks, and I was trying to hide it, bro. So she called on video, then I switched to audio. Then she called, and I was like, Mini, Obaya video, me. Then I turned on my camera, then she saw my hair, she's like, oh, in there, Obaya video, is this why I'm not coming, on the video? I'm like, yeah, I just need it for my graduation. Then she was like, I need to take it off, bro. But
Hmm.
I had graduation coming up. I had to keep it after graduation. She kept bugging me, so I had to go take it off. So I think I kept it for like 2 weeks maximum. Then I took it off. Yeah, African mothers. So
Charlie. I used to have this perception that people in position are sometimes privileged because you guys have the privilege to enter some places that our normal people who cannot enter. So when you became the SRC president, I had this perception about you. And then after school, I know you furthered your education and all that. How did you navigate your way when you were SRC president and then after school? Did they have any special impact on your life in across board in all aspects of your life? Did they have any special impact on your life?
Patrick, if I'm going to be honest to you, well, it has its own opportunities because it's going to shape you, it's going to train you, it's going to make you more confident. And I remind you that anybody who contests or competes for a position in school, as someone who is, to some extent grounded, your confidence is already on point. You try to articulate very well. You have a vision, all of those things, all of this competence is already there before you get into position. So one thing I believe in is that even without a position, once those competencies or key competencies are already there, you can still go into places you want to be. So I really don't think it changed much. It did have an impact. It had an impact, but I really don't think a lot's changed because I was vocal already even before becoming SRC president, and there are a lot of things I could do. So it helped, but not entirely so. Because even after school, those who were not student leaders, they were also still doing well. Everybody was doing well because they had the competences to do well. So that is how it works. It doesn't really put you ahead of your colleagues. I mean, at the end of the day, when you go out there looking for a job, they are looking at what you are bringing to the table, what skills you have. They don't care about what positions you have occupied before. But the position really, I'm not downplaying the position, but the position really teaches you a lot of things. Because I remember I was on the university's council, and even if I won't make noise about some of the conversations we have, sometimes the people on the board, the experiences, when they are sharing the experiences, because they are also coming from or they are holding key positions. When they share the experiences, it gets to inspire you, you get to learn a lot from them based on your network with them. So some of these things do shape you, but at the end of the day, it depends on you, the individual, and what you have ahead of you, what you hope to accomplish or what you hope to achieve. Yeah.
What one thing did you say you picked up from being an SRC president at the university?
I think it is tolerance, but I lost it because I was dealing with a lot of students, and students come to you with so many complaints. Sometimes some of the things they are sharing, you really do not share in, their visions or their struggles, but you have to be patient enough with them. You need to have a listening ear to listen to them and then try to understand, put yourself in their shoes to try to understand their situation. So I think for me, it taught me tolerance, but I lost it. That's what I'm saying I lost it because I got opportunity to work with a boss that was very impatient. He didn't tolerate nonsense. So during the process, it just took me back to, being a kind of person that can't handle a lot of, mishaps, but I had to, in the process to learn it back again. So it's something I'm still learning as an individual to be like very tolerant with people
Mm.
because I can't tolerate a lot of like excuse my language bullshit. Yeah.
Prior to becoming the president, did you have any kind of expectations? And after being the president, how did you compare the expectations with the realities, if there was any?
I had been following my predecessors. I had been following. I followed Sydney Korte, who was SRC president, I think 2016, 2017. And there was Justice Gaduga was SRC president 2017, 2018. And there was me 2018, 2019. So these are administrations I had followed. And for some reason, I think I was actively involved with Justice Administration because I was part of the publicity committee. So these administrations I had followed and I had seen what they were doing. And so I had an expectation and I knew what was expected of me too as president. So for me personally, I think those expectations were met. But one of the things I realized with the administration was that they delegated a lot. And I think it was something I picked up. I also delegated a lot when I was just as a president because at the end of the day, I don't have to be doing all the work. There were like other executives that needed to do the work to get a job done. And we all needed to learn. We were in a position to learn. So I wasn't going to learn alone. I felt the need to learn with my other executives. So that was what we all did. So I think there were expectations. I think we met the expectations and I think we did our best. Yes. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, you did. You mentioned that
Okay.
after school, right after school, you did further your education at the graduate level, right? Or
Yes.
after
It was during national service. I did it together.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You did
So
your
I was in a weekend school and I was doing my service during the day. So on Fridays I have to close early to,
okay.
go back to class. And my boss was, showed me grace to give me an opportunity to, close early on Fridays for classes. So I had classes on Fridays, Saturdays, and on Sundays. Then I had to work on Monday. Yeah, so it was back to back. Yeah.
Was there any special reasons why you furthered your education and the particular program that you did?
I was working with Advertising Association of Ghana for national service. And I got an interest in marketing, and I realized that I did my, undergraduate in management, and my
Mm-hmm.
role at the AAG then was executive assistant to the executive director. But I wanted a skill, I wanted that craft, I wanted that marketing, knowledge, because then I was taking minutes for the board, and sometimes when they express themselves, I got excited and I got inspired. Like, yo, this is a space I really want to be in because these were like creatives, these were strategists, and I liked that I was serving on such board and I was learning. So I needed to add more to it. I needed to understand the kind of knowledge they have acquired to be able to speak the way they do. I needed to understand the kind of, knowledge they had acquired to run the kind of businesses they were running because we were all CEOs,
Mm-hmm.
So that was why I went back to school to add a year of, brands communication to my degree to understand that particular ecosystem. Yes.
Okay. Would you say life was easier for you after school when you were done with school, after national service and then after postgraduate? How was life for you?
Life has never been easy for me throughout my life, bro. I'm not going to restrict it to post undergraduate, post national service. Life has never been easy for me. I grew up with a single parent, just my mom and my big sister. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to, juggle a couple of things to be able to survive. My mom runs a beer bar. My sister owns more like a supermarket, sort of. And then there is me, the man of the house, and I needed to manage these ladies and manage myself as, an individual as well. So life has generally not been easy for me. I remember even when I was in school as SRC president, on Fridays, before even proud to become an SRC president, on Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday, weekends, I was at my mom's bar, working behind the counter, serving the locals in my community. After school, when I was doing national service, whilst I was doing my masters, I was still doing that job. I would close from work AAG Monday, Friday. I'll go to the bar. I'll have classes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll go to the bar at night, be there with them. And so life generally hasn't been easy. Now, after national service, I was retained. So I was still with the AAG. I'll go to work, go back to the bar. And then I
Mm-hmm.
was managing a hostel around, UPSA. And I
Okay.
was still living around campus. So I would
Okay.
close from work, pass by my mom's bar in Tishi. Then I would drive all the way back to East Legon, UPSA area, the hostel, spend the night, wake up, go back to the office. So
Mm.
bro, it hasn't been easy. It's still not easy, because we need to survive, right? So it's life. You need to put in the work. And I'm young. I have the strength to do the things I can do now. So I need to get it done. We all need to get it done. And I think they should go out to every young person out there. You have life, you have the exposure, you have the training, you have the knowledge. So just go out there and be great. No time for lazing about. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
I get it. I get it now. At what point did it come in mind for you to travel outside the country? What motivated you?
Before I joined the AAG, I met my boss, Mr. Francis Dazi. I met my
Okay.
boss at the Pro Vice Chancellor's office,
Okay.
right? And I think I kept reaching out to him, wanted to do my service with him because one of the things I had taught myself was to find myself in not too much of a big organization where I would be lost and not receive some the kind of the needed training I needed for myself. Because I think during national, people were selecting like very big organizations to do their national service. Everybody wanted to go to airports, everybody wanted to, and that wasn't the vision for me. I needed to build a skill. So one of the conversations I had with Mr. Daz is that I told him I wanted to one of the things I really want to do for myself because he was interested in me. And one of the things I wanted to do is to travel abroad, right? And his question then was, "What are you traveling abroad to do? What are you going to do? Okay, day. What you they go do?" And that kind of question. I don't know. I just want to leave. And I there was no clear direction exactly what I wanted to do, like traveling abroad. I mean, I have the skills. Maybe I was just traveling abroad to learn, of course, people were like, oh, travel and see. So I always wanted to just travel and see. But, there was no clear direction. So I kept working. I kept working, looking for an opportunity to just travel, that kind of thing. So keep working, 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 working. Then I lost the interest to travel because I was enjoying my job. Then I
Mm.
left the AAG. Then I started something else, joined another team, continued. I even worked with an oil and gas company at some point. I left them to did something else for a while. And a friend Gracious, I met him during the SRC days. And Gracious
Mm.
was telling me, I think that this was in 2023. Gracious was like, bro, there's this school I want us to apply to and then just go steady. Like, I am not interested now. Because then I was making some cool cash. So I wasn't ready to, travel, right? And then he left. Then he did his program for 2 years. Then he reached out to me again. Bro, I think you need to really come join me here. Let's study together and let's build wealth together and all of that. So, okay, now I'm interested. Now, the interest came from a point where I felt like I was stuck. There
Mhm.
was nothing really going on for me. Then I was like, let me just go travel abroad to acquire, knowledge again. And I needed that exposure I needed that network. The US, has a lot of like diverse
Yeah.
people here, people I can really connect with, who buy into my vision or would want to grow with me. Then I decided to, apply to school, then, come to the US. Yes. So that is how I got here.
Oh, I see. So the time you were approved, so the day you left Ghana, what was the period? How
I
many
was
months?
approved in May and I
Mm.
had to leave Ghana on July 30th, right? So May, June, July, bro, it was a long time, bro. But I was still going to work. I was consistent. I was in work on time. Everybody in my office knew I was about to leave the country because I had
Really?
the morning, my interview was in the afternoon. That morning I went to the office. I told everybody I have like a visa interview. So I went for the interview, came back, I told them, yo, my visa had been approved. So everybody was excited for me. Then I had to tell my boss that same day that, bro, I have my visa. I'll be leaving for school in, July. I was like, oh shit, boy, you just joined us. You're already leaving, that kind of thing. But that excitement was there. That process, you had to now look for my replacement. Everybody was excited for me. I don't believe in, challenge to quantum control be that vibe. No, I just, yeah, because I was working with everybody. Because and I also know the God I serve, he didn't
Mm.
disappoint me. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I see. Okay, so I believe, yeah, you mentioned that you knew some people already over there in the US. So I'm sure you really settled in when you got
I
there.
did, I did, I did. Coincidentally,
Mhm.
I was working for a remote company in the US, it was a cleaning company, distance cleaning. The CEO was living in Boston. He lives in Boston actually. And my school is in Waltham. Waltham is close to Boston, right? So I told him, yo, bro, I have an admission. Boss, I have an admission. He got excited. What's the name of the school? And I mentioned the name of the school, Brandeis. I was like, yo, Brandeis is just around the corner.
Mm.
Then he got excited. So I knew Frank, he was already advising. The wife was excited, his family was excited that I was coming to Boston. Then there's Gracious, my friend, who's also excited about me coming. So these are the two resources I have. But for Frank's side, I had more than two resources because it was his entire family with me. And then there was, Gracious with me too. So I settled in very smoothly. My When I came to the US, I brought some money though, but in terms of fee payment and all of that, then I was having some itches here and there. But my boss tried to raise some funds for me to pay my fees before my loans were approved, to also support what I already had. So the process was smooth. I was living with Gracious, I wasn't paying rent. So when you know people, coming here becomes easy. When I came here, the first Sunday I had to go to church because my boss, is a spiritual man. So it was heavy with the church. So I had to just join the church. I remember the first day I went to church, I was given like camera to take pictures of church because we were expecting me. So
Mm.
Charlie, sometimes when you know people here, it makes your movement here
Yeah. Yeah.
smooth, Charlie. Trust me.
I
It'd be
can
very
imagine.
easy. Yeah.
Mm. And how long did it take you to start school?
I was there for 29 days before school started. So that
Oh,
29 days, oh bro, was
you went to
fun. It was it was fun. It was fun. I started quite, relaxed before school started. My story, big shout out to all those who had different stories, but my story is different. It's God's grace. As a child of God, sometimes you're not supposed to go through certain challenges people have already been through to navigate, our ecosystem or where we find ourselves. Mine was like was seamless, was smooth because I already knew people. And then the God factor was also a contribution to, everything that I was going through. But it's no malice or I'm not trying to downplay those who came through the process and, had to go through some struggles and all of that. I'm not saying I didn't go through struggles. I went through my own struggles too, but they were not as, huge as those who went through certain kinds of struggles. No, it was not. No.
Yeah. What was your accommodation on campus or off campus?
I was off campus, but very close to school.
Okay, so you were working
Yeah.
on taking bus or driving.
Gracious was driving. I was working sometimes. The school had a bus that passed, on my junction. So it was easy. Yeah. But during the winter, I went through it a lot because sometimes I had to walk from my house to school. Sometimes I had to, walk back home and it was cold. I have
Hmm.
never experienced that kind of cold before. So it was crazy. It wasn't easy, bro. It was crazy. Yeah.
The distance, how many minutes from school to your place?
So I think it was like 15 to 20 minutes
Well,
walk. Yes.
mm, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you wish you had a place on campus?
No. Too many people, too many students. No.
Why
I
not?
like that I was off campus, that I was not getting to see a lot of like people on campus. Yeah. So I just walk off campus and then on campus there are a lot of like activities and
Yeah,
it's too much pressure, too many people, and I'm not saying I'm not a people's person, but sometimes you need that space, you need
right.
that privacy to, just relax. I'm an old man. Yeah.
Mm. Ah, you are not. Did
uh
well, did you already have a job waiting for you, or how did you get your first job?
this story, bro.
Mm,
So I was already working with a remote company. I was, yeah, head
okay.
of digital strategy. Yes. So I had that going for me. But I had a job on campus, right? So when I got to school, when classes started after orientation, my friend Gracious, he took me around to see some of the, directors, some of the faculty members, and I spoke to a lot of them. And then he introduced me to Mark. Mark was in charge of students' engagement and student activities at my school, the Hella School for Social Policy and Management. And Mark introduced me to the communications director because then I introduced myself to Mark as a digital marketing person. So he introduced
Okay.
me to the communications director. The communications director mentioned to me that there is already someone handling social media, but they are currently looking for a photographer. And that 29 days in the US, I was doing a church and I was taking pictures of the church. And I had done some work in Ghana too, where I was directing photo shoots and all, especially with front back. And then,
Yeah.
the AEG, some of the brands I had worked with. So I had that experience because, we're always putting together content, put still images and videos. So that experience was there. So I introduced myself to her as a photographer too. And she was like, oh, good. So she wants to see my portfolio, right? So I had to just go on to Canva, put together the pictures I had taken from church on there. Then, the ones I had directed to, I just selected a few of those pictures and then created a portfolio for myself and I sent her an email. Then she wrote back to me, these are lovely. You have the job. So that's how I got my first job as a student photographer. Yes. So sometimes all you need is a skill. You don't need too much.
Hmm.
Now with the direction of content creation, you just don't have to just be editing videos and then be putting them together. You need to learn the tools you are using properly. The editing tools. There's a CapCut, there's a Canva even for video editing. You need those skills because you might need those skills when you come here. So young people have to like pick up the skills, man. They need to learn. I get excited when I see young people doing amazing stuff like yourself, what you're doing right now. I get excited because I know after this video you have to like edit, you have to trim, it's a lot of work, but it's a skill you would need someday. Yeah, so big shout outs to you.
Was that first job lucrative?
It was fun because I was like at every student event. I liked it. I was meeting new students every day. I was taking pictures of students every like day. They sending you emails to send like their pictures to them. And I liked it. It was fun. I like engaging with people naturally. So
Hmm.
it was fun for me. I met some new friends during the process. I get to experience like almost every event on campus. So for me, actively, I wasn't participating in any of the events, but I was on the sidelines taking pictures, content for, such events. and I loved it. Yeah.
Wow, wow, you really did well. And if you had to compare the experience of learning at a graduate
Mhm.
level to what you
Mhm.
did in Ghana, what are the similarities? What are the differences?
Mm, very good question. Um, First and foremost, I think this is a 4 years program and this was a 9 months program, right? So for a 4 years program, like I was saying, for the 9 months program I did where I was a a student photographer and all of that, I was attending every event, seeing, but this was very brief, it was very short. For a 4 months program when I was in Ghana, in fact, 5 years, because I added one more year to it for a master's program. I kept going for student activities. I was meeting new people and it was a lot, it was fun. The only disadvantages here is that here you get to have all of this experience and you get paid for it. I was taking pictures, so I was paid for it. At
Okay.
the student level in Ghana, I was doing all of these things and I was just volunteering for them. I'm not saying there are no volunteering, activities here and there, but there are. But I'm just trying to compare my experiences when it came to
Mm.
both. And I feel here there are so many things you can do. Like there are so many opportunities for students, in terms of career development, in terms of job seeking, hunting. Your professors are making time, for you to walk you through how to like create a CV for yourself, how to network and all of that. I don't think in Ghana we do that. We just organize the events. If you want to attend, you attend. If you don't want to attend, you do not attend. I was attending every event when I was in Ghana, though, and I also got opportunity to organize one of those events. These are, the differences. In Ghana, we I don't think we are encouraged enough to take those opportunities seriously. But when you're here, nobody will even encourage you, just go for them. And I also think in Ghana, there's no, I don't know whether it's incentives people are looking for to take advantage of some of these opportunities. But I don't know, man. I feel like this conversation is a conversation you need to have on a different level when it comes to like taking up, opportunities here in the US. That's against taking up opportunities in our various schools back in Ghana. It's a different conversation. Now,
Mm.
at a graduate school here, there are some, jobs you can pick up that will pay you. In Ghana, they don't even make those jobs available, to you. So TA jobs, you need to have graduated to be doing national service, then you become a TA.
Yeah.
But here, you are a student and you're a TA,
Okay.
Yes. So these are the disparities. And for me, I don't know, man.